Good morning. Today we are continuing with Unit 10, working on those angles, and today we're combining them into triangles. So CO62, I can classify a triangle by its angles and sides. So in order to do that, we need to know the names of different triangles. Somebody was asking us about that yesterday. We're finally getting into our triangles now. So an acute triangle is a triangle with three acute angles. So remember, those acute angles are those little cute ones. So they're going to have small little angles for all three angles. So an acute triangle has acute little angles. A right triangle is a triangle with one right angle. So that right angle could be anywhere. It could be down on the bottom there. It could be up on the top. So it doesn't matter where the right angle is in position-wise. As long as there's a right angle, it will be a right triangle. An obtuse triangle has an obtuse angle. So it's going to have acute angles, but one of those angles is going to be obtuse. It's going to be bigger than 90 degrees. So an acute triangle, they're all tiny. They're all acute angles. An obtuse triangle has one large one. Congruent sides.
Please excuse the interruption. Teachers for an assistant day to celebrate this event for their coffee and bagels is the teach lunch. Help yourself. Thank you.
So congruent sides are sides that are the same length. That is important when we're talking about an equilateral triangle. All three sides will be the same length. So to show that they're the same length, we put one line. So any side that has that one line means they're congruent. They're the same length. Does anybody, well, we'll get to my next question there. An isosceles triangle has two sides that are congruent. So two of those sides will be the same, but one of them won't be. It says at least two congruent sides. There's only three sides. So you've got two that are the same length. A scalene triangle has no congruent sides. So none of the sides are the same length. Equilateral, all three are equal. Isosceles, two of them are equal. Scalene, none of them are equal. The sum of the angle measurements in any triangle is 180 degrees. So here's a little hint for us. If we know that a right triangle has a right angle, we know that one of those angles is going to be 90 degrees. If we know equilateral triangles have three equal sides, what do we know about their angles? If the sides are all equal, the angles are all equal. And if it equals 180 degrees in an equilateral triangle, they all will always be 60 degrees. So in an equilateral triangle, the angles are all 60 degrees. So when we are trying to find a missing angle, I'm skipping ahead. I won't skip ahead. So finding an angle measure in a triangle. If we know that one angle is 68 degrees and another angle is 47 degrees, how do we find angle X? What do you think we do, Peyton?
Well, I added 68 plus 47.
And what did you get adding 68 plus 47?
115. And then I subtracted that from 180, which got me to 65. And then I added them up, which got me to 65.
So Peyton not only solved it, he also checked his work, which is perfect. So to solve it, you add the two angles that you know. You add them up, and then we're going to subtract those two angles from our 180 degrees. because that's what all three angles will always equal. In a triangle, they always equal 180 degrees. Good to remember that. So he subtracted the 115 from 180 and got 65 degrees. So angle X equals 65 degrees. And then he said to himself, I want to make sure I did that right. So I'm going to add up 65 plus 68 plus 47, and my answer should be 180. If it is, you know you did it correctly. If it's not, then you know that you have to figure something else out. Right next to Will G. Aiden, does Gabby have any of her stuff there? Okay. Is that her backpack or is that yours? What?
That's your backpack.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so in order to find your missing angle measure, you add the two up, you know, subtract from 180. Why do we subtract from 180?
Oh, because that's all.
Nick?
That's what they, you know, like what they always do.
The triangles always equal 180 degrees. All three angles will always equal 180. So whenever you're solving for a missing angle in a triangle, 180 degrees is your magic number. Anthony?
So it feels like a prism would be 360 degrees?
No.
Oh.
Because a prism is a solid figure, whereas a triangle is the flat figure. So a prism, it's going to be different. Because it depends on how many sides you have in your prism. So that just changes everything. All right, let's see what else we're doing here. All right. So again, our equilateral triangle has 3 congruent sides. The isosceles triangle has 2 congruent sides, and the scaling has no congruent sides. Oh, did I just move? I did. I moved that. Oh, technology.
You can undo it.
I know. All right. There we go. So, finding the measure of an exterior angle. So the exterior is the outside, interior is the inside. So the 3 angles of the triangle are the interior angles. So when you think about your house, when you're interior decorating, you're decorating the inside of your house. Interior angles are inside the triangle. Exterior, you have to exit out of the triangle, it's on the outside. So the sides of the triangle can be extended outside the triangle to form those exterior angles that are adjacent and supplementary to the interior angles. So if we look at this line BC, we can extend it out to D. It's a straight line. What do we know about straight lines? It's 180 degrees. So if we know a straight line is 180 degrees, and we know this interior angle is 58 degrees, can you find angle X? What do we have to do to find angle X? Think about what we know about those straight line angles and being supplementary. Peyton?
You like add 68 plus 58.
So we know this angle right here is 58 degrees. We know our straight line is 180 degrees. What did we do yesterday when we were finding supplementary angles? 180 degrees is our straight line, minus our 58 degrees, that's right here. And remember, we're left with that supplementary angle. So what is 180 minus 58, Zoe? So angle X equals 122 degrees. It's that easy to find that exterior angle. It's a supplementary line, supplementary angle. So if you know the inside, the interior, you can find the exterior. How do we find angle Y? Nick?
You add 60 plus 50.
We add the other two interior angles, and then we do what?
And then you subtract 180 minus 100.
And what do I get? 62?
Yeah.
So you add up your two interior angles that you know. You subtract them from that 118 because all three angles equal 180. And we end up with 62 degrees. So always think, okay, my interior angles have to equal 180. So if I have a missing one, I have to find how much that is. Supplementary angles always equal 180 degrees. What is a key number when we're working with triangles and angles? Will? 180 degrees. It is a key number we're using a lot. Okay, so really remember that. All right, how do we feel about finding our missing angles? Okay, a lot of us are feeling confident. Some of us are a little shaky, but that's why we're going to do some work to help us. The more we work it through, the more we're going to understand it. Just remembering we're going to use that 180 degrees is that key number. On the bottom, it says classifying a triangle by angle measures or side lengths. So, what would an acute triangle look like? What does an acute triangle look like, Will W?
It's a triangle with points smaller than 90 degrees.
Yeah, all the angles have to be smaller than 90 degrees. They have to be acute angles. What is our right triangle going to look like, Nick?
It's going to be a right angle with a slant.
We need to have a right angle and then the slant. What about an obtuse triangle, Brielle? Say a little louder. We're going to have an obtuse angle that's bigger than 90 degrees, and then we're going to have our other side. So one angle has to be obtuse. Oh yeah. Are all obtuse triangles going to be identical? No. You could have the obtuse angle on the bottom. Okay, it doesn't matter. It can be twisted and turned and flipped. As long as there is an obtuse angle, it's an obtuse triangle. What does an equilateral triangle look like? Anthony?
Triangle has like 3 equal sides.
3 equal sides. And you will know they are equal by those lines put on. The line, the little line on top of the side tells you that it is congruent with another side. So whatever sides have that line are the same length. They are congruent. What does an isosceles triangle look like, Lily? 2 congruent sides. And you know that they are congruent because they have that line saying those sides are the same length. What does a scalene triangle look like? Anthony? No equal side lengths. So it could look like that. It could have lots of different looks to it. Okay. As long as none of the sides are congruent, none of them have those lines on it saying that they are the same length. It is scalene. How do we feel about classifying triangles? Okay. So if you need to, look at the binder sheet when you're working on your workbook page. So let's see what we're doing today. We're doing page 131 and 132. Yeah. So, shh, I'm still recording. Thank you to my friends who are quiet. We are doing all of them. There are 17 problems. Shh. We will be correcting these tomorrow. If you are at home, we hope you are well, and we hope to see you soon.